So this weekend we had SummerSlam. It was epic from beginning to finish. Let me tell you guys, I tuned in while I was exhausted, had a very long day, and I was still captivated by the action. I had a blast. It was enjoyable. It had really good spots. We got the return of Dakota Kai, which was previously fired, now brought back. We got what's her name? Io Sky, who changed her name. Her name before was Shirai, right? Something like that. She was in NXT. She just got re-signed. We got Bayley returning from her injury. It was epic, and I'm not even a massive fan of those NXT stars because I don't really watch NXT like that. I do know they have a big following, but I felt that their presence. I felt the energy. It was super unexpected. And I love that they created a stable that seems to be rivaling, the powerhouse type of stables. You got former champions there, and you got super fan favorites involved as well. So very good stable to kick off SummerSlam after a nice Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch match. I thought that match was really good to start off the show. It gave them the spotlight before anyone got tired or anyone got carried away and distracted with the SummerSlam event. We had these two women duke it out, and all the focus was on them to kick off the show and get us excited. So, at the end of the day, I felt like in terms of, setting up the match card, they did a good job in that department as well. I mean, I don't know the exact order, but I do want to talk to you guys about each match and how I felt about each match because, let's face it, I didn't do a review for each of those matches that went down, but ultimately, I do want to let you guys know how I felt about it. So, we did indeed get the Theory and Bobby Lashley match that happened early on in the pay-per-view. I thought it was short and sweet. It was one of those matches that you could definitely complain if you want. It wasn't a wrestling clinic, but I love how they put Bobby Lashley to look dominant, and it still made Theory look like a threat for later in the evening. They didn't completely demolish Theory, and they had a good back and forth flow to it. But obviously, Bobby Lashley needed to get that victory. He's holding on to that title for a little bit, and he's adding prestige to it. So I'm really happy he retains his U.S. belt. Their encounter was fun and definitely enjoyable. So on to the next one, which when we talk about Monday Night Raw, we'll cover the triple threat matches that went down. Obviously, they did the number one contenders matches for his U.S. belt, but that was really good. Yeah, it does suck that Becky Lynch got hurt. She had a separated shoulder. We don't know if they're going to let it heal naturally or do surgery on it. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. But another match that happened early on was The Miz and Logan Paul. And let me tell you guys something. That match that Logan Paul tag teamed with Miz at Mania was good. It was enjoyable. And Logan Paul did really, really well. And he was he was forcing me to become a fan of his ability in the ring. And then SummerSlam, he just took it to the next level, man. That match had really good spots. It had a pay-per-view feel to it. The Miz did outstanding in selling everything and then some. And Logan Paul, bro, his athleticism, his training, everything came to full circle there in the ring, and he delivered. He delivered on the high-octane action. He was jumping outside the ring from all different ropes. He jumped on Miz, and then the frog splash on the table, that was beautiful. Just diving left and right, taking risks that professionals that have been in the industry for like a decade do. And it was just remarkable to see this young, poised Logan Paul performing at a very high level in front of 40,000 fans, bare minimum. And it's just crazy. I think that indeed he found his calling. He said that this is his calling. Hopefully we'll see him down the road in another significant storyline, because I did like the pairing of Logan Paul and Miz. They put on a great match. So really enjoyed that one as well. So up until this point, I was not disappointed at all. And I was just shocked because I kind of felt like at some point the pay-per-view would let me down with a match here or there. And I feel like it was just good pacing. Whenever something bad or whenever something felt like it was getting stretched out too much, boom, they hit you with the flip of a switch, and we started getting things going. So another match that I do want to freaking talk about was the Rey Mysterio and Judgment Day match. That was probably one of the weaker matches on the card because we had already seen them on Monday Night Raw. And that's the only reason why I didn't really care too much going into this match. But the fact that they made it a no DQ, I knew that Rhea Ripley was going to get involved. And I had a feeling that we'd see Edge return or someone make an appearance. Because you don't just do a no DQ, no titles. Like, this rivalry has been pretty solid, but it hasn't been crazy enough to really justify a no DQ match. You know what I mean? So the way that they set it up, it kind of felt like they were giving themselves room. Oh, welcome to the channel, Lola. Thank you for subscribing. We're just here talking about the Rey Mysterio Judgment Day match. So that match having the no DQ stipulation, I was like, something is going to happen here. And even though I had a feeling that Edge would make his epic return at SummerSlam, it was still beautiful. The way they did it, he came from like this little stage area, from like the bottom of the stage, so to speak, with fire and like the demon background. And it was just perfectly executed. He stormed his way to the ring, and you felt the emotion, you felt the energy, the adrenaline rush, and it was just executed on a perfect level, in my opinion. So that match was exciting simply because every time Rhea gets involved and she starts whooping on Dominic or Rey or any man, it's exciting to see because she's a very, very talented powerhouse of a woman. She is a beast. So anytime she gets tangled with a male superstar, I'm looking to see what the hell she's gonna do. And having Edge come in to be the X Factor, that was beautiful. And the way that he did his spear and just his energy, bro, you felt it. So that was really dope. And then how about the freaking Pat McAfee and Baron Corbin match? We don't give enough credit to Happy Corbin, guys. We really don't. I know he gets annoying, he gets on our nerves, and we give him shit sometimes, and we talk bad about him when he was like King Corbin or the Lone Wolf or whatever. But the guy has an awesome finisher, awesome signature. He has that nice, like an elbow or like the thing that he runs around the ring on the side. I really like that move as well. I really like his arsenal. I like how easy it is to boo him. You know what I'm saying? He is one of those guys that he makes it easy to boo him, and he always puts over the person he's in the ring with. And I feel like we don't give him enough credit for the ability that he does showcase week in and week out, no matter who he's facing. And in this match, it was against Pat McAfee, and their storyline was awesome. Former teammates, roommates at one point. I love how Pat McAfee was calling him out for changing, for acting all snobby and garbage, and how that was such a great, easy setup. And they played into it, and it played well. I was excited to watch the match. And let me just tell you guys, Pat McAfee has his new theme song, the Let's Go, whatever, and everybody's singing to it. I love that, bro. I loved it. I feel like the Pat McAfee introduction was just outstanding. The way that they were singing "Bum Ass Corbin," got everyone involved, and me and Junior, my nephew, we were just loving it. We dug that match, and it wasn't. Michael Cole said it best. It wasn't pretty, and it wasn't a wrestling clinic, but my goodness, it was a fun match. Corbin is such a good heel. Only version of him I didn't like was Constable Corbin. Probably the only one I didn't like as well. But again, he just does such a good job in making you want to boo him, even if you respect his ability. So I really love the commentary team as well, with Triple H in charge and the new team behind the scenes. You could feel that they have a little more wiggle room and the way they're expressing themselves feels like a breath of fresh air, which made SummerSlam a joy to watch too. But, back to the Baron Corbin and Pat McAfee. They had really good spots on the turnbuckle. Pat McAfee caught himself even when he was slipping. And, it was just a fun match. And I like when they involve, announcers, in this case, Pat McAfee, and they put him in like a celebrity role. It really works. It really works. Having Pat McAfee show up at Mania, Rumble, or at SummerSlam like they just did, I think that's really good for WWE to have an announcer to get physical with wrestlers when they don't like what they're saying. I really enjoy that element of the show. So I think having Pat McAfee get involved in any kind of storyline in the future like that, I think it's a good card to have, especially when you need someone. Like back in the day, we used to have Shane McMahon. Remember, Shane McMahon was never the most technical wrestler, but he knew how to take bumps. He knew how to give bumps. And it was always setting up exciting matches. And I think Pat McAfee kind of slips into that role of a young Shane McMahon, where he would take those hits and he would set up those spots. And even if it wasn't the most beautiful coordinated match, it ended up always being a must-watch, entertaining experience. So good job by those guys. And then we get into the tag team match, was probably the more disappointing one, because the Usos and the Street Profits, they had an outstanding Money in the Bank match, which I didn't review and I didn't talk about it on the channel. But I absolutely love that Money in the Bank encounter. I thought it was one of the best tag team matches they have been involved in. And it was just magic. Adding Jeff Jarrett to the mix, I figured it was going to be a little bit crazier than what it really was. But ultimately, it was a showcase for Dawkins. Dawkins did great. And I felt like it was more about the Usos putting the nail on the coffin. Securing them titles and showing that they are here to stay. And the Street Profits did not come close to winning last time. That was just, a technicality on the referee. But they are definitely the champs. And, that's what I took away from it. So it was a solid match, but it wasn't a crazy Money in the Bank pay-per-view type of match, And I think that's why we felt disappointed with it, because we already saw their better encounter not too long ago. And that's what happens when you have these guys rematch and rematch and rematch. How do you outdo it? They needed to have had that match to be like an Extreme Rules match or a cage match to have really taken it to the next level, because it was just a regular match. Jeff Jarrett called it right down the middle. He didn't really get super kicked out here. He should have. I felt like they should have had an altercation with him, but it's okay. I guess they wanted to do like a little time saver because they were giving the main spotlight to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, obviously. But before the main event, we had Ronda Rousey and Liv. And let me tell you guys, I love Ronda Rousey in the ring. I know on the mic she can be a little awkward sometimes, and it's kind of difficult to get behind her character just because she struggles to really deliver on her promos, and she gets a little nervous and things like that. So I get it. I get why people don't like her, but she's the total package. She has the charisma, the facial expressions, and the in-ring ability to really give us a wrestling clinic. So I like when she's involved. It makes the women's division feel like they need to step up their game. And the way that they set this match up was really all Ronda. Ronda destroyed Liv, and I love it because in the real world, let's be honest, Liv has zero chances of standing up to Ronda Rousey. We all know that Liv Morgan would never come close to actually defeating Ronda Rousey. She's much smaller. She's not as technical. We just don't see Liv Morgan as that dominant champion. But they kind of gave her the the happy-go-lucky feel, And it worked. It worked because she ended up winning by pinning Ronda, because Ronda was so focused on her submission, which made Liv tap before the 3 count. So technically Ronda would have won, but the referee didn't catch it. So another technicality storyline ending, but it made Ronda look vicious, dominant, and it gave her the opportunity to go heel and turn on the crowd right then and there. So I thought that was very smart booking. She ended up looking strong and definitively beat Liv, but Liv got lucky. Things are making a difference already since Triple H is taking over. No, for sure, things are looking different. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was another Triple H decision right then and there. But now to the main event at SummerSlam, guys. I wanted to really, bulldoze my way to the main event at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. So grab your drinks, relax, kick your feet up, and let's just enjoy these two titans who supposedly had a showdown for the last time. This was a last man standing spectacle. Okay, Brock Lesnar came out with his tractor. His entrance was phenomenal. Roman Reigns had his fireworks. I was all into it. Brock Lesnar climbed in through the top of the tractor as the announcer is, making his doing his job. He was announcing and letting everyone know, the stipulation and all that bullshit. Brock Lesnar jumped on Roman Reigns, and that was just starting the match full of action from start to finish, man. Those guys left it all out on the ring and ringside. The way the Usos got involved, the way Theory got involved, it built up to that moment, and it felt like the pacing was just spot on, man. They were a little reckless. They went to the crowd. They went into the big, iron thing that was holding the roof. They freaking got physical out there. They came back. Brock went through 2 tables. Paul Heyman went through the announcer's table. We had chairs. We had everything that you would have wanted in a last man standing match. Brock Lesnar getting the tractor and lifting up the ring. I wish I could put that clip on stream right now. That was just ridiculous. Ridiculous, bro. I was just in awe. My wife was watching it. My nephew was watching, and we were all just going crazy with how insane the match ended up being. And now I get why the tag team match wasn't so crazy. Now I get why the Rey Mysterio and Judgment Day no disqualification match wasn't that crazy. Because all the crazy spots were left for Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. The biggest problem that we had with their match at Mania was that they got outshined by Cody and Seth Rollins. They got outshined by Kevin Owens and Stone Cold. They got outshined by, the Pat McAfee stuff and all the other matches that delivered. But the Brock and Roman match left us with a little sour taste because they said it was the biggest match of all time. And let's be honest, as big of a Roman fan as I am, and as much as I wanted Roman to win, I didn't want it to be that way. But this was just well put together, and it was pure joy, man. I am telling y'all, we were going nuts. I wish I would have gotten our reaction. I would have really wanted to have done a watch party with you guys because it was one to remember, and I'll never forget it, man. I will definitely never forget it. One of the better SummerSlam main events I've ever seen, especially live on TV. It was just Michael Cole. Yeah, can't the referee count any faster? Like that line right there. It was just, we were all into it, and the announcers, Corey Graves and Michael Cole, doing such a great job. They made up for their encounter at WrestleMania, and I agree with what you're saying, VJ. The best match between Brock and Roman, that was their best singles match together. KQ said it as well. I agree with you guys 100%. I think that their encounter at SummerSlam defined their rivalry, and it was the storybook ending for Brock Lesnar if he ends up deciding that he doesn't want to wrestle anymore going forward now that Vince is gone. So we got to have that into consideration as well. Either or, this was just poetry, and it was just music to my ears. And I just hope everyone that watched it enjoyed it as much as we did. I thought it was just, man, it was a spectacle. It was a spectacle. And, I know we give WWE a lot of shit, or AEW, or any of these promotions that we watch, and they don't deliver on certain things that we're looking for in matches. But I feel like SummerSlam not only delivered, but it surpassed expectations with certain spots that they were able to put together there. So, ultimately, just wanted you guys to truly hear it from the horse's mouth myself. I didn't want to type it on Discord only. I wanted to make sure you guys on YouTube got to hear it from me. I absolutely love SummerSlam. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 10 out of 10. I thought that it was up there with WrestleMania, which I thought was one of the best one of the best, most overwhelming WrestleManias I had ever seen. And it was just the perfect way to go out if it was Brock's last match. I agree, VJ, for sure. So we had some returns. We had Edge returning from his, getaway. We had Dakota Kai, who had been fired, making her return. We had Io Sky re-signing and getting the call-up. And these weren't just returns. These were call-ups from NXT as well. And we had the Bayley return within that, segment. So the women's division is looking very strong and powerful. And just the way that it started the show, it kicked things off into high gear. And then you had Roman and Brock end it just perfectly with so much destruction. And again, the ring being lifted the way it got lifted. We had never seen that before. And for you to do something like that in 2022, where we've seen it all in wrestling, it's something very beautiful to see. Again, in 2022, we still got to see something we had never seen before. That is amazing. That is love and appreciation. Whether SummerSlam was a 10 out of 10 to you or not, you can't hate on the way they set up that last man standing match. Now, I know a lot of people wanted Brock Lesnar to win. I get it. But look, Brock Lesnar has whooped Roman Reigns enough times. Brock Lesnar has whooped everyone on the roster enough times. It's about time Brock Lesnar gives back and sets up Roman in a way where Roman now looks even more dominant. Did Roman really need this? No, his run has already been great, but at the end of the day, it's just adding more fuel to the fire. We'll see who dethrones Roman. SummerSlam wasn't it. He surpassed 700 days. I'm happy. I'm a Roman fan, so you guys know I'm happy about the decision. But yeah, I'm going to give SummerSlam one last time, guys. 10 out of 10, perfect score, because it was entertaining. It was exciting. It had me cheering. It had me booing. I had goosebumps. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't even actually watch it at 8 on the dot when it started. I started watching it later in the night when I got home, and it was already ongoing, and I had to start from the beginning of the show. And even then, I felt like I was watching it live. Even then, I was able to get all the emotions because that's how good it was. So, let me know what you guys think about SummerSlam. I went on my little, review here. I'm going to upload this clip as a video for you guys to enjoy and, pause it and do whatever you want with it so we could keep the chat going as well on the video. So I hope you enjoyed this portion of the stream and don't miss out on another one. Let's go.